Remember one important point. God and saints, both, they can only grace and love, and they cannot do anything apart from that. If you see anger, grace behind it, just as the father and mother in the world, the punishment or the scolding, it was just because of their care and love. This is exactly that applies to God and the saints all the time. Anything that do. We are so fortunate. We can do much more than that. We can love, we can hate, we can be angry, we can be mean, we can be jealous. But they cannot do anything apart from love and grace. Their every action is an act of grace. We may understand it or not, but that is the supreme truth. Once a couple happened to be on a honeymoon. They went for a cruise in the Mediterranean. Very next day, there was a very, very bad storm. The sea became so rough, that it appeared that the boat would capsize any minute. Now, the man always had belief in Allah, and the lady didn't. So she cross-questioned him angrily. You have so much faith and belief in Allah. Why is this happening to us? There was a knife on the table nearby, a sharp knife. He took the knife and he just held it in front of her angrily. She just stood there, absolutely unperturbed. Aren't you scared? Why? I could kill you. There's a knife in my hand. And this is honeymoon I'm talking about, not later. Anything can happen after that. She said that, look, I'm not scared at all because I know you love me so much. You cannot harm me at all. I'm not scared. So he said, my dear, this is exactly the case with Allah. These waves may be very dangerous, but I have faith in Allah who is moving them. I believe He is kind and merciful. That's why I am not scared. So don't be worried whether God is on your side. He always is. Be concerned whether you are on His side. Think about yourself. The words of Barbara Johnson might help you. When you believe that all that comes to you comes from the Heavenly Father, then suffering will begin to make a little sense. Not much, I admit, but a little. And that's all God needs to work in your life. A mustard seed of faith. I love the words of Candy Plowman. He said, life is fragile. Handle with prayer. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel said that one who has faith is never perturbed in the ups and downs of life, whereas one who is faithless becomes hapless and helpless. So the best attitude towards suffering, all pain and suffering, is to consider it as a pain of separation from God. Let me tell you a very sweet story. I'm sure some of you must have read it. A man happened to be at a barber's shop and they were engaged. It's a 10-15 minutes job. People get into a conversation. He got into a conversation with the barber and they were discussing various subjects and it came to God. The barber said, I don't believe that God exists. The customer said, what makes you think so? If God existed, there wouldn't be so much sickness in the world. There wouldn't be any abandoned children. There wouldn't be pain and suffering at all. The customer thought there's no point saying anything to this man. There'll only be an argument. So he didn't reply to this. And after his cut, he had his beard trimmed and his hair cut and he walked out. The moment he walked out, he saw this man with long, dirty, unkempt hair and a big beard there. He walked back into the barber shop and he said, I don't think barbers exist. What do you say? I'm here. I'm a barber and I just worked on you. How can you say that? Barbers don't exist. If they existed, there wouldn't be this man standing here with long, dirty hair and that beard of his all unkempt. The barber said, oh, well, barbers do exist. That man is like that because he did not come to me. Splendid. God too exists. He exists, and those who do not go to him, do not have faith and surrender to him, then they will also be like this. There will be pain and suffering. So he is bliss. You say God is love, don't you? He is bliss. He is love. If you do not go to the reservoir of bliss and love, Anando Brahmeti Vijana Atanandat Deva Kalmani Bhutani Jayante, Tetri Upanishad, mantra number 3-6, then you are bound to suffer. So, it is in human life, remember this important point, it is only in human life that we can rectify this error and turn to God in surrender. That is what all the scriptures unanimously advise us to do, to surrender. Surrender is not the best way to live. It is the only way to live. And once you learn this truth, then your language is going to change. Your words are going to change. You are not going to anymore say, oh God, I have a great problem. Now you're going to say, hey problem, I have a great God. So let me end this talk with the beautiful words from our ancient scriptures, the Kathopanishad. Mantra 1-3-14. Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavaran Nivodhata. Awake, arise, and set forth immediately to seek the company of saints and attain your goal. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki. Thank you very much.